What's up, guys? Jaquel Wimbush here, your host, back to the basics of health and wellness podcast and your certified holistic health and wellness coach at Ladybug Natural Solutions. On today's show, we're going to be talking to Isabella of Reiki by Isabella. Let's get into it. Reiki is love. Love is wholeness. Wholeness is balance. Balance is well-being. Well-being is freedom from disease. Dr. Mikhail.
Daddy, it's time to start your podcast.
Hey, Isabella, how are you? How is everything going out there in New Jersey during this COVID crisis? What's going on?
Hi there, Jack. Well, I'm doing great. I guess, with the COVID-19, everyone is doing the best that they can and getting through it as best as they can as well. And I'm hanging in there. To me, I call it the new norm. It's the new norm for us,
Absolutely.
And even though there's so many, uncertainties with it, and everyone is going through so many emotions about it, I basically believe that this is all happening for a reason.
Yeah.
I feel like it's bringing everyone into a place of connecting with themselves, right?
Yes,
not running away. We can't run anymore.
You can't run. You can't hide. You have to face reality.
You got to face yourself, honey. That's what it comes down to it.
Yes. And
most people don't want to face themselves. They want to run. So they're being forced now to sit with themselves and say, wow, who am I? What makes me happy? And what do I want to do next in my life?
Yes.
And actually look at things that are happening in their reality right now to see what's their truth.
Yes.
Are they happy in that situation?
Yep.
Or are they ready to make changes? Most people aren't, but because change is scary.
Yes.
But it's important. I really do feel like this time is happening for a reason.
Yes. And a lot of businesses are being born. A lot of people are coming out of their shell and finding their new self. And being more self-aware. And I'm seeing that in my practice as well, that, people want to make lifestyle changes that last. And that, it includes Reiki and, going deep within to find out who you really are. And Isabella Reiki can help you with that. She helped me with that.
I certainly, and I have to tell you, Jaquel, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of. Do you remember where you first started?
Yes.
I mean, when you first started coming to me, anyway.
Yes.
From that moment to this point in time, right?
Yes. I was going to Isabella, guys, and I was crying, bawling, tears flowing, and just trying to figure out, who I am, what was my purpose, and Isabella definitely brought all of that potential out of me, as long as with myself, because we both have to work within that. And, she definitely helped me with that and brought it out and made me really do the work, the inner work, and brought that out of me. Yes. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And when it comes down to it, it's really you that's doing the work. Yes. I'm just a channel that's helping you get you out of your way.
Yep.
And let you become aware of what it is that you need to change within yourself so that you can be in a happy place. Most people, when they come to me, are very stuck. They're very confused. They're very lost. And when they do come to me for Reiki, it is at that point in their lives where they're like, there's got to be something better than this in life. I know there's more. I know. And, when we get to that place, when we start questioning ourselves and we get stuck like that, it's because we're not in alignment with who we truly are.
Yes.
And most people don't know this on a conscious level until they start going into this search, and starting to, and this whole period that we're in, the shutdown is really, so many people are awakening. So many people are going through spiritual awakenings. It's amazing.
Yes.
The changes that people are going through. Some people are having a very difficult time with it. They're having a very difficult time with it. Like I was saying earlier, change is difficult. People don't want to change. And also people don't want to look at themselves or face themselves. If you think about it, before this shutdown, right? Before the shutdown, everybody had their busy lives. They were running here, doing this, doing that, all these things that they were doing. They really never had the time to sit down. And this goes for even for your business as well. No one really has the time to do what it is they're supposed to do for themselves, right? Because we keep ourselves so busy working, taking care of this, taking care of that, doing this, doing that. And a lot of times that's just because we're running away from ourselves. And most people don't want to sit with themselves. So in your line of business, you're probably getting busier now because people are now taking the time.
Yes, they are.
To really see what it is that they need to do. Mm-hmm. And with my work, which is all about spiritual awakening and becoming aware and connected to your authentic self, your work is connected to that as well.
Absolutely.
And it's a mind, body, spirit connection.
Yes, yes.
When we can get into a mind, body, spirit connection, we are in total alignment with ourselves.
Yes.
And that's when we start to see our authentic self. Mm-hmm. That's when we become our authentic self, who we're supposed to be.
Beautiful.
You know, not the fake things that we've been programmed to believe about ourselves, or the limited beliefs. It's who we truly are.
Yes.
So this is a time for that. Even though there's a lot of uncertainties and things out there, this really is a time for people to really get to know who they really are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With that, a lot of distractions, and when I look on social media, I see, in the beginning of this epidemic, everybody was hopping on Netflix and trying to watch all of the movies that they can, and just sit down and I gotta watch this, I gotta watch the whole series, I have to do this, I have to do that. Mm-hmm. But those are all distractions from you
Absolutely.
Really dealing with yourself. And and I told people this is a time where we should be connecting with self instead of running away from it. So that's excellent that you put that out there. Excellent.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on. And that's why so many. And I'm getting the remote Reiki that I'm doing now, because now that's what I have to do because mm-hmm. I can't do physical work anymore. But the remote Reiki has been so amazing. How it's really been touching people and helping people get through this.
Okay.
Because it's a transition. We're all going through this transition. It's an awakening. It's an awareness that we're all coming to. And they don't know how to deal with it. If they don't know how to deal with it, it's bringing up so many fears and anxieties and all these things about themselves, because they have to look at themselves and they don't want to. Mm-hmm. So it gets to this place where it's like, oh my God, what do I do? I have all this anxiety. I have all this fear. I have all of this stuff going on with me. I can't deal with this. I don't want to be stuck here. And let me tell you something too, honey. Just put it out there. You know how many breakups are going to happen? I mean, I don't mean to laugh. I really don't.
It's reality.
But it's because you know how many people I'm hearing this just from clients alone. It's like they're stuck home now with their significant other. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I really don't like them.
Wow.
Or they're starting to see things about themselves. They're seeing things about them. They're starting to see that, they're really not connected because, again, we're so busy with everyday life mm-hmm. that we really don't take the time to see what it is that truly makes us happy.
Yes.
And it's sadly, a lot of people are going through this awareness now of like, I don't know if I really want to be in this relationship anymore.
Wow.
It doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't make me happy. Mm-hmm. There's so much of that going on right now. Because again, we're being forced to look at what we truly want, mm-hmm. what truly makes us happy. And really, when it comes down to it, we can't look for it on the outside. Everything that fulfills us is within ourselves. It's just a matter of taking the time to sit down with yourself mm-hmm. and figuring that out. Absolutely. You've got to take the time. And that is why this is all happening.
Absolutely.
The new earth is being created.
Yes.
We are changing.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. A good change. A
mm-hmm.
good change is coming. Mm-hmm. So for the folks who don't know what you do, can you explain to them what it is that you do as far as
Absolutely.
a Reiki practitioner?
Okay, so basically, I'm a Reiki master practitioner. I'm also an intuitive empath. So we'll get into that after. But a Reiki master practitioner, what I do is I help people to rebalance, recenter their own energy. So what Reiki is basically is energy, and everything is energy. Reiki is just that higher consciousness of energy, that good healing energy. And what it does is it brings up all of the trapped energy that people have accumulated through life. So when I say trapped energy, what I'm talking about is emotions that are connected to experiences that we have gone through in our lifetime that we have not healed or released. What people will do to get through life as normal as possible is to suppress or repress all those emotions that are connected to those experiences. Because The one thing people don't want to do is feel. We don't want to feel emotions because they suck. But it's important for us to really feel those emotions in order for us to become more in alignment with ourselves. So what Reiki does is comes in on the channel. So the Reiki, I channel it in, it comes through me, and then I transform it or send it to the person that I'm working on, whether remotely, in this case, I'm doing a lot of remote stuff, or physically in the office. So I'm just that open channel that calls in the energy and it flows through me into the other person. And what it does is it starts to bring all of that suppressed and all of that, those repressed emotions that we've held on to and trapped within mind, body, and spirit. And what happens is when we hold on to all of those emotions and never allow ourselves to heal or release those emotions, they get trapped within mind, body, and spirit. And it has to come out in some way. So this is where anxiety comes in. This is where depression comes in. This is where physical problems come in and illnesses come in, because we're trapping, blocking all of that good chi, our good natural chi, with all of these emotions that are blocking all the natural flow of energy from flowing through our body. So Reiki starts to bring it up so that we can little by little start releasing it. It's not about reliving experiences. It's more about us acknowledging the emotions that are connected to those experiences. Because it's really the emotions that's trapping us and stopping us and blocking us.
Yes.
We're not allowing ourselves to release it. So what Reiki does is helps us to start releasing that energy.
Cool.
So that we can get into a place of alignment. And what I tell people, really, Reiki is a way of connecting us back to who we truly are,
Yes.
our authentic self,
Yes.
not all of the programming that we've been given, all of the beliefs that were sent to us, of limited beliefs. It's about who we truly are. And when a person can get to a place in their life where they start to question, is there more to life than this? I don't feel right. This doesn't feel good anymore. They become depressed. They become anxious because they're not in alignment with who they truly are. When we are in alignment with who we truly are, we feel amazing. We feel great. We can do anything. So when we get to this place of being stuck, it's because we're trying to figure out what is going on with us. We're not in alignment with ourselves.
Yes.
So it brings out our truth.
Nice.
But you have to be willing to go in, reflect, and heal all of that stuff in order, in order for you to come into alignment with yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah, and
Did I explain it?
Yes, absolutely. That was me when I first came into your office.
Remember, honey? Do you remember?
Yes.
That's you probably never expected that experience, did you? It was just like whoosh. It was like a whoosh, right? It was like whoosh.
Yes.
But what happened afterwards? Mm-hmm. Afterwards, you felt. How did you feel after all of this stuff came up?
You know what? It's a great feeling, because it's like when you're living your authentic self, and you're doing what you're supposed to be and what you were called to do, your energy levels just are like off the wall every single day. You are open and receptive to everything that comes your way. And, and that's what I tell people. Like, I'm a very, spiritual person, and I love to tap into myself. I love to, go for healing when needed, even if it's a therapist, Reiki, meditation. We cannot be scared to go into that darkness to get to the light.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for me, what you brought up, not to cut you off, but what you brought me was that, I was giving out love, but I wasn't receiving that love, because I was shutting that off. So,
right.
Yep.
And that is a trait of what did I tell you that you were? Do you remember what I told you were?
Empath.
What's your gift? Yes, darling.
Yep.
So an empath, for people out there who don't know what an empath is someone who feels everyone's emotions. We just feel everything. I'll tell you that. I'm an intuitive empath. So we feel everything. And we are the ones that feel like we have to fix everybody and take care of everybody and nurture everyone and do all of these things, which is part of what we need to do. But what most empaths do, like in your case, Jack Bell, is you were giving so much and not giving to yourself.
Yes.
You forget about yourself. When you're an empath, when you're so connected to just wanting to make everybody happy and to heal everybody and fix everybody, you're taken away from yourself. And what a lot of empaths, and probably you as well in the beginning, is what a lot of empaths mistaken is that we're supposed to do this, we're supposed to fix them. But really, when it comes down to it, everyone is on their own journeys, and everyone has their own lessons to learn. So when we can get to that place as an empath, or anyone really, that I know it's okay for us to give advice and to be there for people or whatever, but we cannot fix people, right? We cannot fix them, because that is a disadvantage to them if we try to do that.
Absolutely.
Because that they have their own lessons to learn. So if you're constantly trying to fix someone, they're never going to learn the lessons that they're supposed to learn. So those lessons keep getting repeated over and over and over and over,
yes,
until we actually learn whatever that lesson is, because that's what this journey is about. It is, in order for us to become our authentic self, we have to go through many experiences in our lives and learn the lessons. And the lessons are what's going to teach us and bring us closer to who we truly are. If we don't learn the lessons that we're here to learn, they will just keep repeating themselves over and over and over in our lives until we get it. And again, this whole COVID thing that we're going through right now is the beginning of that. So many people are becoming awakened.
Yeah.
This is the time, but you have to be willing to reflect. You have to be willing to look at what it is within you that needs to be learned and learn that lesson. Otherwise, it's just going to keep repeating itself over and over and over until we actually learn it. We're going to be learning lessons till the day we die. But the difference is when a person starts to become aware that the experience that they're going through is a lesson for themselves, they become more aware, and every time a new lesson is presented, they learn it quicker, because you understand that it's a lesson.
Wow.
And now it's like, oh, wow, this is a lesson for me. Let me learn this. I understand where this is coming from. You know, like this time, like, and I apologize if I go on and on and on, because when I talk really fast, that's well, I'm channeling.
I know. I do the same thing. I do, and listening to you, I'm like, we're the same people. I'm listening to you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And it's because you're awakened to who you are, Jeffrey. That's because you've gone through all of this stuff. And again, we're still learning lessons, you know, we'll learn until the day we die. But really the main purpose right now is for us to really reflect on all of the stuff that's coming up, instead of running away from it or fearing it, or being, you know, creating anxiety over it. We need to just sit there and say, okay, let me just sit here and just learn this. What is being shown to me? What is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn in this? Why does it keep repeating? It's repeating itself over and over because we're not learning it.
Yes.
We're not learning it.
I tell people that all the time. I tell people that all the time. Yeah.
It's very true. But you have to be at a place to be ready to.
Yes. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So it's like there's a lot of life lessons. There's a lot of healing people have to go through, a lot of programming from our past. But when we can get to this place of being awakened, spiritually awakened and aware, and when I say spiritually awakened, I mean we're connecting to ourselves. We're going to understand now that stuff wasn't us. It was passed on to us from our parents. It was passed on to them from their parents, ancestors, just one after the other. Now, if you think about it, way back when, nobody was awakened, so they didn't even know what that was, right? So they just continue the same repeated pattern over and over from generation to generation. It's this time, I believe, it's this time where we are becoming awakened to understanding that no, this has to end. This pattern has to end that's been in our lifeline, in our ancestors' line. It has to end because we're not happy. And when we can get to that place of saying, I understand where this is coming from. This is not truly me. This is just something that's been passed on, and start to figure out who you truly are. What you're doing in essence is you're stopping it from repeating itself. You are breaking the pattern, and then your children don't continue that pattern. Yes. So when you break the pattern, you're saving your children from repeating it and continuing it. Because you really think about it, right? It's like we goes on and on and on and on, the same stuff, on and on and on from generation to generation until we get to a place where we're awakened now. We understand where it's coming from. We're ready to heal it. Yes. At that point is when we're breaking that pattern and we're not allowing it to continue in our children. You know, and our kids won't continue it either. because most kids are born, and your son especially, I feel, is empathic as well.
He is.
So most kids now are born awakened.
Yes.
They're born with this newfound awareness. And it's so important for us to be there to guide them through it.
Yep.
You know, it's a whole nother generation now. It's a whole nother way of being now. I know I went on and on. Sorry.
No. We gonna call this the COVID reset because everybody's resetting right now.
I love that.
The COVID reset.
COVID reset. There you go.
Yes.
Reset. There you go. Reset and reflect.
Reflect. Yep. And that's why, you know.
Who are you?
Who are you? And where are you going? And what are you about? What's your authentic
Exactly.
self?
Where do you want to go? What makes you happy? This is really, at the end of the day, Jekyll, the journey is about us.
Yes.
It's not about anybody else. So if we can't be happy with ourselves, if we need to really do some serious reflecting on why we're not happy, where is this all coming from, so that we can move forward in a positive way, you know, but we really have to sit down. So, you know, your mind, body, spirit, honey, this is all necessary for this transformation, you know, during this awakening. Absolutely. It's getting to absolutely. It's like, why we're feeling like this?
Yes.
Think about it, you know, and I have to say, you know, when people have triggers, you know what triggers are? When, let's say you're around someone, they say something and all of a sudden you get like so angry, you know, or whatever happens, you know, you go, you know, from 0 to 10, right? And you're like, where the hell did this come from? A trigger is usually, a trigger is something that is being shown to you about yourself. So like someone could say something and all of a sudden you're triggered by it. At that moment is when you really need to say, well, what the hell? Why was I so upset by that? Why? It's a way, it's your soul's way of talking to you and saying, look, do you see how you were just triggered? Where do you think that came from?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It could be a person in your life that they're reminding you and you don't know it consciously, but subconsciously all of a sudden you're triggered. You know what I mean? So it's really just becoming aware and awakened to what is going on with you. Okay, because most of the stuff that we go through is not even our stuff.
Yes,
it's not our stuff.
It's the baggage.
You know,
of
it's
others.
just stuff that's been passed down. Right, it's just stuff that's just passed down to us. You know, those limited beliefs and so forth. You know, and spirituality to me is not about religion. In my opinion, spirituality to me is believing in yourself.
Talk about it, Isabella. Talk about it,
you
please.
Know, girl,
Talk about it. Yes, that's what I tell people all the time. I said, you have to believe in yourself before you believe in anything else. You have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
That's what God intended. God intended for you to believe in yourself. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's what this journey is all about. This journey is all about us finding that out and learning that. And we have to go through our lessons to get to that place.
Yes.
You know, as challenging as it is, and how, you know, it's overwhelming. It's challenges. It's a lot of heartache. It's a lot of pain. But you know, with pain comes love.
Yes.
And you know what? People just shut their hearts down. You know, they'll go through experiences in their life and they're just like, shut. And listen, I'm not even going to sit here and say that I'm like, I've had to go through that myself.
Me too.
You know what I mean? And I still have to go, you know, and I still do. But the thing is, I'm more aware of it. I don't shut my heart down anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, I keep my heart open. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable anymore.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, okay, if I get hurt, there's a reason. I'm supposed to learn something from this. But if you block your heart, you're blocking your blessings from coming in.
You are.
Also.
You are.
You know, you really are. So with pain comes love. And you need to have both. Just like with darkness, there's light. You know, yin and yang. You know, there's always opposites. You have to. The feminine energy and the masculine energy. Each one of us has that.
Yes.
It's learning how to balance it is what's going to bring us into alignment.
Yes.
You know, learning how to balance both of those, not operating on just one masculine energy or one feminine energy. Balancing it both is what really the challenge is, you know, to get us into that place.
Yep, absolutely.
And being in alignment.
And just facing fear. A lot of people just
Absolutely.
facing their fears and going through the emotions and it's just feeling it out and going through the fear to get to the other side so
Exactly.
you can be who you want to be. And
Exactly.
that's what I had. I had a fear of going live, videotaping myself.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a bunch of times
Mm-hmm.
of just saying,
Yes.
no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But then, just saying,
Look
you
at
know
you.
what? Let me face my fears. And now I can't get off Facebook Live.
I'm telling you, this is what I'm talking about. And let me tell you that, the same thing happened to me. I went through this dark night of the soul, was serious. And this is what a lot of people are going through too today. I won't get into it now because it's lengthy. I'm probably going to do a podcast about it.
Okay.
But dark night of the soul knocked me down to my knees. And I would have never gotten in front of camera. In front of the camera. Look at me now, YouTube. I got no problem. You know what I mean? But it's like, when you surrender to spirit,
Yes.
spirit works through you. And let me tell you, after that dark night of the soul, I woke up the next day. I felt all this clarity, and I heard, because spirit talks to me a lot. I'm very connected to spirit. Let's put it that way. Said to me, okay, I swear to you, I just rolled out of bed and it was like, all right, you're gonna do a podcast right now. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm gonna have this conversation with spirit. What do you mean a podcast? What is? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what to do. And the thing is, though, this is where I'm saying, like, synchronicities. Yes. I already had downloaded the podcast, the software, the app.
Yep.
A long time ago, but never did anything with it. So it's like, these synchronicities, all these things that you think that you all of a sudden see a book, but you never read it, or anything, like you download these things, you don't even know why you're doing it, right? Nothing's going on, but all of a sudden, something like that shows, well, damn, that's the reason why I downloaded that app. I don't know why I downloaded it then, but I guess I downloaded it for a reason. So when I woke up the next day and they told me, no, you're doing it. I'm like, no, I can't. I don't even know what to do. They're like, you're doing it. You're doing it right now. You surrendered. This is, yeah, you got to listen. So I swear to you, I just went on this podcast. It was my very first podcast. There was birds. There was so many interruptions. And they were like, there was a reason why we wanted you to do it that way without you planning or being ready for it. Because you have to step away from yourself and just trust.
Come out the comfort zone.
It's like, like what you're saying, it's like, I'm going to get in front of the camera. Like, that's our insecurities. That's our fears, right? Yes. So by them pushing me to do it the way that I did, it was like, you have to step out of your way. Yep. You can't be afraid to get on and just start talking. And after that was the end of that.
Yep.
It just became more and more, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
That's just me with my podcast.
Yeah, you see?
My first 3 podcasts was horrible, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep pushing at it. I'm going to keep grinding at it. I brought this equipment. I said, it's not sitting around for nothing.
It will. Listen to me. It will get better and better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're not supposed to give up. Listen, when you went into this, it felt good. You wanted to do it, right?
Yes.
It was something that you felt very connected to doing.
Yes.
But even when we had that talk in the office that day when you came for Reiki, and it was like, remember we had that conversation and I asked you, what is it that you really truly want to do? And you started talking about the wellness coach and the nutrition. And remember what I said to you? I asked you, what was the question I asked you? You remember?
What was the questions? Like, what was like my heart?
The question you already answered that question, but I said to you, what's stopping you?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you just started doing what you needed to do, and you went to those classes. You got your certification. Like, it just popped. Yep. Sometimes people just need to be made aware of it. It's within us, but consciously, we don't even know it's there. Yes. You know what I mean? So you start talking to someone, and they kind of like light that. They light that little flame, and it's like, oh wow, that's. Wow, okay. And then you just keep doing it. And really, that's my purpose. My purpose really is not to fix people. My purpose really is just to help people become aware of who they are and what their true potential is. Aside from all the illusions, right? All the illusions that we create, because fear is an illusion. Fear is false experiences appearing real. We create fear in our mind. It's not real.
Yes.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion.
Right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So when we can get past that and know that most of these things are illusions, that's when we can really start to look at things in a whole nother way. Yeah. We have a whole different perspective of life. Yeah. It's bigger than we know. Absolutely. But we have to just be willing to see it and to go through it.
Yep. Yeah,
You have to.
I walk through life now after
Mm-hmm.
doing all of the work that I had to do. I walk through
Mm-hmm.
life today without any fear, without any regrets. You know, if I make a
Mm-hmm.
mistake on my live, it is what it is. If I make a mistake on my podcast, it is what it is. You know, I'm not
Absolutely.
editing anything. It is what it is, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's how
Absolutely.
and it's a love for self. It's a self-love and you know,
Absolutely.
and going off my own guided system that is telling me
Mm-hmm.
just keep going, just keep going, just
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it, just try to impact as many lives as you can. And I walk
Mm-hmm.
outside today with no fear, and
There you
that's
go.
with my chest up, my head high, and chin up, and just ready to face on every single day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because you know what your purpose is. Your purpose is to help. It's
Yes.
there to guide and assist and help people
Hmm.
as much as you can. And we're going to go through all of our little, issues until we perfect it. But it's not even about perfecting it. It's just about doing what we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
It's doing what makes us feel good and feels right to us,
Yeah.
regardless of feeling insecure or having that fear stopping us. It's just knowing that what I'm doing is not only helping me with myself, but it's also helping me touch so many lives out there and
Yes.
help them get their lives together and get their lives in order and become aware of who they are, because that is what this whole time is about, us awakening to who we truly are,
Yes.
not who we thought we were
Mm.
or who we thought we were supposed to be
Yes.
by our programming and limited beliefs, and conditioning, but who we truly are. And we know who we truly are is when we are doing whatever it is that we're doing in our life and it feels freaking amazing.
Mm.
It feels good.
Yes. Yes.
That's how
Yes.
you know you're right in alignment with yourself.
Yeah. And that you
You
know,
got to go through it.
yes, and I had a moment last week when I'm helping my mother, as her coach, but I was doing it for
Mm-hmm.
free, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
like, things were happening with her and in her life, and she said, Jaquel, you know what? I said, what? She said, I got to start paying you for your services. I said, no, you don't. You're my mother. And she was like, no, I have to pay you because I am really getting something out of this. But like I've been trying to get my mother on, a holistic path for a long time. And,
Mm-hmm.
going through the cleanse that we just did, the 7-day
Mm-hmm.
cleanse that Ladybug Natural Solutions just
I
finished up
just did that.
yesterday.
And by the way, I did that cleanse too. I lost
Beautiful.
3 pounds.
Nice. Yes. There we go. Yay. That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh, yeah. I feel so special.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's a win. We got a win. Yeah, I got a couple of people who lost some weight. I had some 5-pound
Yeah.
weight loss, some 3-pound weight loss, some acid
Mm-hmm.
reflux being taken away. But my mother, she was like, during the cleanse, I was giving her, this coaching, and she was like, I have to pay you. And I'm like, no, you don't. And she was like, yes, I have to. She was like, because I really believe in what you're doing, and at the end of the day, I want to support my son's, dream and his purpose, and I really am connecting with what you're talking about now. Before
That's
she didn't
awesome.
believe it. I mean, not believe it, but she didn't connect with it. But now it's like she has this
Mm-hmm.
connection, and I'm getting people from Atlanta. I got people in New Jersey. I got people in South
That's
Carolina. Yeah, so
amazing.
it's
You
people.
see?
Yeah, it's people all over just coming into the program now and making that
But I'm
lifestyle
going to tell you,
change.
not to cut you off, honey, but I'm going to
No,
tell
good.
you, all right? And if people want to pay you, let them pay you, all right? Because sometimes people feel more comfortable if they do pay you for the services, especially if they're gaining something from it,
Absolutely.
But you are going to take off beyond what you could even imagine when you are confident enough in yourself about it.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
When you are truly confident with this being what you envision it to be, and you're totally confident in it without feeling those insecurities, without feeling like, oh God, this is not happening quick enough, or this is not. When you can step away from that part, I'm telling you, and you can just say, this is what I want to do. This is what I love.
Yes.
When you can open up your heart to it, Jaco, it's going to just happen. It's just going to happen.
It's happening.
Exactly. It's like you've got to step out of your own way.
Yes,
Because
you
if
do.
you're in your way, constantly saying, oh, it's not happening quick enough, I'm not getting enough clients, what you're doing right there is creating resistance. And remember, everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's energy. you're blocking it from happening because of all of your insecurities and, the other things that were blocking you from it.
Yep.
So when you can be open about it and be heart-centered about it, and say, okay, I'm ready for whatever is supposed to happen. And I'm not going to stand in my way. I'm ready. It's going to come. They come. They come, sweetie. Trust me.
Absolutely.
I never thought in a million years that remote Reiki was going to take off as quick as it did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had clients every single day.
Yes.
And they get some, all day. It's like today, this is Memorial Day, all day.
Yes.
I tell people. So it's like, they're feeling it. It'll happen. I'm telling you, when you don't expect it, when you're not having expectations, because expectations is just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to have expectations. You just want to be open and trust and believe that everything's going to work out.
Nice.
And sometimes that's hard, because ego comes in, but that's when you have to say, ego, shut up.
Yes.
I don't hear you. Nah, go away.
Yep.
or better yet, ego just wants to be heard, just acknowledge. Just say, I hear you. Thank you for sharing. And let's move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, even our thoughts, they just want to be acknowledged. They just want to be acknowledged. And just acknowledge them, write them down, do whatever. And then they go away.
Yep. And
so if we keep resisting and we keep fighting them, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes I go, I listen to what's going on in my head, and I have a conference with myself, and I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. This is what we're doing. We're sticking to the plan here. We're not veering off to the left. We're not veering off the right. We're not, going to bring on any distractions. We're going to stay focused on what we're doing and move forward.
And just move forward.
Yep.
And the next time, just say, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
And keep it moving.
That's your inner self talking to you. You have to acknowledge.
That's it. They want to be acknowledged.
Yep.
What, honey?
What advice would you give someone wanting to become a Reiki practitioner? Because I hear this a lot. A lot of people say, I'm going to go into Reiki, or I want to, join a Reiki class. I see it on my Facebook page all the time. So what advice would you give those people?
So, we'll use me as an example. When I first got into Reiki, I didn't even know what Reiki was. It was presented to me, and I still say to this day, Reiki chose me. It was part of my path. It was part of my journey. But there's different levels of Reiki. You have Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki 3, Reiki Master level, teaching level, which I am at. It's just trust your intuition, trust your guidance. Usually the first level, which is Reiki 1, is usually people who are not looking to, they may later on and find that that's what they want, who are not really looking to commit to a Reiki journey, but just need healing within themselves. And they'll use it to heal themselves, or they'll use it to heal loved ones around them. I have a lot of students that will come to me if they have loved ones who are sick and they want to help them. So they'll get attuned to Reiki 1 so they can use the Reiki energy to help heal their loved ones. So the first one with me, the first time, it was just experiencing it. I was going through a lot of things in my life, and I just wanted to heal. And then right after that, it was just it just was called. And then I was called to it. It was just then Reiki 2. So really the response that I would give is just trust your intuition, trust yourself. If you feel like it's something that you want to try, and like I said, Reiki 1 is usually with a lot of people just to try it, to heal themselves, and then take it from there. If after Reiki 1, you feel like you're being guided to the next level, then go to the next level. If you're being guided after this Reiki 2 to go to Reiki 3, go to Reiki 3. Just follow your intuition. But it really is, the first level is more with my understanding with most of my students and myself, is people who just want to heal stuff that are going on within themselves. And Reiki does help you do that. I also highly recommend Reiki 1 to empaths and starseeds, intuitive people, because it does help to get their energies in check and balanced out. And then from that part on, you just follow your intuition. I was guided to continue. Yes. I never thought that I became a Reiki master teacher, but remember I was talking about synchronicities. I never thought I was going to teach it. And it just, but I took it. For whatever reason, I was guided to go to Reiki teaching level. And it's only been maybe the last 3 years that I started teaching. And I've been doing this for 12 years.
Nice.
So wherever you're guided, just trust yourself, trust your intuition. I can't really give you any advice other than Trust yourself.
Yeah.
If you feel like you want to try it,
Yep.
go right ahead. Especially if you're going through something in your life where you need to heal, go right ahead. Go do it. I highly recommend it. And then after that, if you want to continue the path of Reiki, you'll know it.
Yes.
I can't tell you if you should or you shouldn't. Yep. You'll know it. You'll be guided as long as you're open. And once you go to Reiki 1 and you're attuned, you'll know anyway because you'll be opened up completely.
Yes. And I would like to guide everybody listening to this podcast to Isabella by Reiki or Reiki by Isabella. I'm sorry. Guide yourself over to her. Get that healing.
Aww.
Get that healing. Guide yourself on
I'm
over
here
there.
for you guys.
Yes,
I'm here for you guys.
And when I tell you, when you go into her office, you will feel it. You will feel it. As soon as you walk into that door, you're going to feel that energy, and you're going to feel that is the place where you need to be to get guided to your true self and to start healing.
Healing.
Yeah. Yep.
Most people never want to leave.
No, yeah. Once you lay down, I'm telling you, once you lay down, do not want to get up because it's all in that room, all of that energy, all of that chi is just all there, and the people that I recommended to go see you, to come see you, they say the same thing. Oh my God, it was an experience, and I'm like, yes, it is.
I love it.
It's a beautiful experience. Where can the listeners connect with you? If you could give out your social media, your telephone number, if they can make an appointment, and your address when you open up.
Okay, so you can go to my website, which is isabella-reiki.com if you want any information, and my address and phone number is on there. You could also follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Also, I have a YouTube channel, all Reiki by Isabella. And if you have any questions or you want to reach out through email, you can email me at reikibyisabella@gmail.com.
Cool. Beautiful. And I will definitely have that in the show notes, guys. So, you could just click and it's going to be right there for you. Last question. I know you put a lot, you work with stones a lot. So what would be crystals? What would be your top 3 crystals for people out here dealing with Corona and staying in the house?
Absolutely, I hear you.
Top 3. I don't want to go into the top 5. Let's go top 3.
The top 3, and really, I only have a few. There's so many crystals, but I work with specific ones, and I would highly recommend amethyst.
Yes,
which is the purple crystal, and amethyst is a calming stone, so it helps to calm you. It'll calm your anxiety. People can sleep with it under the pillow. They can keep it on in their pockets. Women can put it in their bra if they want. So amethyst is a great crystal for keeping you calm and relaxed. It also helps with addictions too. It does help with addictions. The second stone that I highly recommend, because so many people are having a lot of solar plexus, which is our stomach area where we're feeling all the fears and insecurities, and that's our strength and our power. I recommend citrine, Citrine. It's a yellow stone, and that is a great stone to have to build and strengthen the core, which is your solar plexus area. That helps with all of the fears and standing in your power. So I do recommend citrine. For keeping all negative energies and things away, the other stone, well, actually, you know what, that one, the other stone that I would recommend because you said top 3, so let me not get ahead of myself. So the third one that I would recommend, because this is a time of us going into our heart center, so I highly recommend rose quartz. It's a pink crystal. Rose quartz is great for the heart.
And if you guys can hear that, that's my pocket full of stones.
Love the rose quartz. Rose quartz is amazing. So that does really help you with the healing. And if I can add one little trick that I recommend to people during this time of COVID and fear and uncertainty, and this has been helping a lot of my clients, is when your mind starts to go crazy and you're just becoming overwhelmed with all these thoughts and fears and anxieties, there's a trick that I like to use and what I usually like to recommend to my clients. With practice, you get really good with it. When you start to feel overwhelmed and you feel all this fear and anxiety coming up and this uncertainty, what I usually tell people, and I do it for myself, is drop that focus from your mental conflict into your heart center. So when I say drop the focus from your mental conflict, which is up in your head, into your heart, it's just getting into the center of your heart. You could place your hand on your heart and just feel your heartbeat. You can just stay quiet and just listen to your heartbeat. And this helps you to center and become heart centers, where now all of that conflict that was going on in your mind, you're feeling a peace.
Beautiful.
So learning to drop the mental conflict into your heart center by placing your hand on your heart, feeling it, listening to it, helps you to get into this place of peace and calm. It really does truly help.
Nice.
Just a little recommendation, little trick that we can do.
Yes. Isabella, it has been a pleasure to talk with you, ma'am.
Same here, my darling.
I love you.
It.
I appreciate
miss you, Jackwell.
I miss you too. And as soon as I get back on the other side, we will have a consultation because I need you.
I'm here for you, sweetie.
Yes,
I do the remote too. But listen, I also want to do a podcast, so I want to with you in it too, talking about your work.
Let's
so I'll let you know when we set that up. So, because again, this is all mind, body, spirit. So we need to get that connection.
Yes.
All right, my love?
Yes, it's been Isabella Reiki. She's on the show. We got her in here, guys. We got her in here.
Love you.
Love you too. And I appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon, ma'am. Have a great one. Enjoy and be well, okay?
You too, sweetie. Thank you.
Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Guys, thank you for listening to today's podcast with myself and Isabella of Reiki by Isabella. To learn more information about Isabella, I will have all of that information in the show notes. Again, I would like to thank you all for joining me on today's episode. If you think this episode can help somebody, please share the podcast. Until next week, enjoy, be well, and make a lifestyle change that lasts. Have a great one, everybody. Talk to you soon.